kitchen is a shared space where food is prepared, and feces is the worst thing to place there. The final reply that I haven't responded to, I'm that pissed off, was, we don't mind it on the counter and we need somewhere to put it. If you have a problem with it on the counter, put it on the floor and put it back up whenever you're done. Now, I am beyond angry right now at this. I have quite a big paragraph ready to send, but I feel it would end my tenancy. I just want to know, am I the jerk? Somehow these roommates don't seem to understand that putting actual poop onto the kitchen counters would gross anyone else out who lives there who's trying to prepare food on those counters. They even said if you do move it onto the floor, just put it back on the counter when you're done. Even if the roommates are totally desensitized to having poop around their food and it doesn't gross them out for any reason, there's still the actual sanitary issue where people could get really sick. If poop particles start getting spread on the counter and then people roll their dough out on that counter with a rolling pin and all the residual poop particles are just rolled into that dough, that's not going to be good for you. I think in this case the OP is just perplexed that they can't see how they are being the jerks in the situation so obviously, but let me know how you see this down below yourself. What would you do if you had roommates that were putting pig poop on the counter where you cook? Jerk or not a jerk, and why? Am I the jerk for asking my friend to move a picture of him and his wife kissing to another room because it made my wife uncomfortable? I'm a 32-year-old man and my wife, Delilah, is 28. We lost our apartment 2 months ago and moved in with my mom temporarily. Issues began to arise between Delilah and my mom, and I had to ask my friend, Anthony, who's 31, to let us move in until I get enough money to rent out. His wife was away visiting family and he agreed, but even there, some issues started to arise. For your information, Delilah is very shy around Anthony. She grew up in a conservative home, so it's understandable, but sometimes it can be a bit much, I admit that. For example, she freaked out when she accidentally drank from his glass, and she also once made a fuss when he passed by the guest rooms when she was lying down and the door was open. Thankfully, Anthony was super understanding and we were able to talk some of these issues out. Last night, Delilah was passing the hall and noticed a framed picture of Anthony and his wife kissing was hanging on the wall. She told me about it and said that it made her uncomfortable. She asked if I could speak to Anthony about it, but he didn't take it well. He gave me a look when I spoke to him and said this was bonkers because first of all, his wife put it there, and second of all, the picture holds sentimental meaning to him and his wife, and argued that it wasn't some explicit picture of them, just a normal wedding kiss. We started arguing and he said that it wasn't like it was hanging on the living room wall or a perfectly lit room. I asked him just to be a little more considerate because it's not like I asked him to remove it completely, just move it elsewhere so that Delilah won't see it or keep it off the wall until we leave. He said that he was sorry but still refused. I explained how Delilah was feeling, but he said again he was sorry but he would not move the picture. We argued for some more and he said that it's his house and that I was being pushy and kind of too comfortable to make such a demand and be pushy still. This morning, Delilah refused to even come out of the room until the picture is removed. Anthony is refusing, which makes it worse. Now I feel like I'm getting stuck between a rock and a hard place. Yes, she might just be overreacting, but I feel like this isn't such a big ask for Anthony to decline and turn down. For what it's worth, if it were me, I'd go the extra mile to make sure my guests are comfortable. Anthony has been a friend of mine for 10 years. I wouldn't have asked to move in with him if I didn't have such a strong bond with him. He himself constantly talks about all the things and situations I helped him out with, and we are considered brothers. So, am I the jerk for asking my friend to move a picture of him and his wife kissing because it made my wife uncomfortable? It sounds like the OP has coddled his wife through their entire relationship. He's basically just treating her like a baby that needs to have her wants and desires met at every turn, no matter how seemingly trivial they are or how much they inconvenience the people that are doing them a favor. They lost their apartment 2 months ago, so presumably they're in a pretty bad spot. They already had an issue with the mom, and now their friend is letting them live there for free because he says until he gets enough money to rent his own place out, so I'm assuming they're not paying Anthony. And then they're nitpicking the fact that Anthony has a wedding picture in his own house and they happen to be kissing in it. The OP here sounds like he's totally lost sight of reality because of how long he's been babying Delilah, which obviously makes him the jerk to his friend that is doing him a pretty big favor. But let me know how you see this down below, jerk or not a jerk, and why. Am I the jerk for forcing my guests to move to a hotel after they've refused to use the bidet? Sorry for all the poop talk. I live in a country with terrible plumbing. If you flush toilet paper, you are pretty much guaranteed to back up your toilet. I grew up in Colorado, so I know how weird it is to wipe after a dump and then put the paper paper in a garbage can instead of just flushing it. So I installed a wand bidet in all 3 washrooms in my retirement house. So after you poop, you just spray your backside down nice and clean. Then you use a toilet paper to dry your butt. Nice, simple, and less gross in my opinion. I wish I had these when I lived in the States. So my brother and his wife came down for a visit. I told them the rules for the bathroom and they both said that they understood. Apparently not. They clogged the 2 public bathrooms the first day. Then they asked to use the one in my room. Nope, that's mine. They asked me where they were supposed to go to the bathroom. I pointed them to the clogged ones and offered them a plunger and a drain snake. They said I was the host and it was my responsibility. I laughed in their faces. So they packed up and left. They found a hotel and they are now on social media complaining about the crap hole country that I chose to retire to and calling me a terrible host for inviting them down but not letting them use my bathroom. I posted pictures of my bathroom after they clogged them and asked if they knew who did that to my home. They called me gross and immature for talking about their bathroom habits. I'm lost. They brought it up first. Anyways, they are calling me a jerk because they have to spend money on a hotel when I live in a really nice house with guest rooms. But now, everyone who knows the bathroom rules for down here is calling them idiots for not using the bidet or putting the toilet paper in the receptacle. So, am I the jerk? The OP clearly warned them about how bad the plumbing was there and what they had to do in order to make this not happen, but they decided to do it anyway. So not just 1 bathroom, but 2 out of the 3 bathrooms in the house, and then they wanted to do it to the 3rd. The funny part is that they said that the OP was the host and it was the OP's responsibility, which in a way he did do his responsibility. He told them what the issue was and how to avoid it. How much more responsibility can he take? Does he want them to wash their butts for them? So let me know how you would have handled this down below, and jerk or not a jerk, and why. Am I the jerk for embarrassing my little brother with my Halloween costume? My brother is 18 and I'm a 21-year-old female. We go to the same university. I play soccer and my teammates nickname me Dump Truck Danny because I have gained a bit of weight on a specific area of my body. I thought the nickname was harmless and funny, and no one on campus really made it weird. For Halloween, I decided to play up the nickname, and I was a dump truck for Halloween. I even put an oversized load sign on my back. I told my brother what I was gonna be, and he said he would never talk to me again if I went through with the costume because it would embarrass him. I didn't think he was serious, and I went through with it anyway. Now he's actually not talking to me, and a lot of my family is saying that I shouldn't have worn that costume. I'm honestly not sure if I should apologize or not. Am I the jerk? I don't think anyone really wants to hear that part of their family members' lives, but the OP here obviously saw it more as just an innocent, innocuous type of thing. It seems like by far most people think that the brother is the jerk, but let me know what you think down below. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. To finish listening to all the stories in this series, use the playlist at the top of the description. And next time you live stream, use the Cream of the Crop music. Search for Cream of the Stream on Spotify or whatever music platform you use for copyright-free music to use for your stream. It's free, Cream of the Stream. Either way, thanks a lot for listening. I'll see you guys next time. Today's video is a compilation recap of Lady Saber's epic story about the neckbeard nice guy known as Sir Samwell up to this point. We're keeping in all the original commentary just so we have it all in one place now so it's easy to catch up to the current point. One last thing, if you're a streamer or want to be a streamer one day, use the music down below in the description. It's copyright free, it's great instrumental music, and there's no catch. You can use it on all of your live streams. So save it now so you can use it for later so that way you don't forget. But for now, let's jump straight into the compilation. Today's story is actually a story that was sent in by a few people. Apparently it's a legendary story, but I don't know anything about this, and it creates a whole saga of its own. If you want to submit your own stories, you can do so via the links down below, but don't forget to drop a thumbs up, subscribe with notifications turned on, and follow on Spotify. This story comes from Neckbeard Stories and is titled The Introduction of Good Sir Samwell, or Why My Stomach Now Turns at the Smell of Spaghetti Sauce. Hi everyone, it's Lady Saber. Player 1 is me, Lady Saber, 16 years old at the time. I'm Finnish, I grew up in Belgium, here in America on a 2-year exchange program at this time. I'm still new to the country, school, going through a culture shock. I'm heavy into fencing, it's been my sport for something like 10 years. For neckbeards, this seems to make me the katana-wielding milady of their dreams. Player 2 is smooth-cheeked neckbeard, we'll call him Samwell Tarley. Fat as all get out, wears wears cargo shorts, bazinga shirt, sandals, and yes, the fedora. He also smells like sweat and old spaghetti sauce. He has a really high-pitched nasally voice that sounds like a whiny toddler. Player 3 is John. He shares half of my courses and is really good at chess. He has a southern accent that I could listen to all day. I'm keeping his description limited so that I don't sound obsessive. I met Samuel at Chess Club. I'm pretty aware that it's a neckbeard spawn point by